China's foreign minister is visiting the United Arab Emirates, discussing ways to work together more. Wang Yi highlighted areas such as energy, trade, infrastructure, and technology, including 5G and artificial intelligence. The two nations already see a lot of people-to-people exchanges through education and tourism. They also discussed increasing cooperation on COVID vaccines after already working together on Phase 3 clinical trials. Wang Yi said China supports Middle Eastern countries in choosing their own development paths and that Beijing would increase communication with countries in the region to promote stability. Well, in the UAE, the Chinese foreign minister is also set to meet with senior officials. Our correspondent Jacob Greaves has more now from Dubai.
The UAE has come to play a major role in China's Belt and Road initiative, being seen as a gateway into the Middle East. The Gulf countries home to both Kizad and Jebel Ali port, both of whom have sought to bolster ties with their Chinese counterparts in a bid to streamline trade. But since the visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2018, they sought to strengthen ties in areas beyond cargo and hydrocarbons, with attempts to increase collaboration in areas such as e-commerce, artificial intelligence and renewable energy. Vaccine cooperation is likely to be on the agenda at this meeting. The UAE has been a staging ground for the rollout of the Sinopharm vaccine in the Gulf, with local UAE-based company G42 Healthcare conducting Phase 3 trials here, since it's been one of the major vaccines adopted by the UAE, particularly in Abu Dhabi. UAE health authorities did recently announce a, quote, very small number of people in the country would need a third dose after antibody tests indicated they didn't have a sufficient immune response to the first 2 doses. One of the key aspects to watch for in this trip will be concerning any plans for localised production of the Sinopharm vaccine. To date, the UAE has relied on imports, but the CEO of G42 Healthcare has in the past spoken of the goal to set up domestic production that can service not only the UAE, but also the broader Gulf. Any developments in that area in terms of cooperation would be significant for the UAE, but also the region. Jacob Greaves, CGTN in Dubai.
China and Iran have signed a major long-term partnership. The deal was reached during a visit to Tehran by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, where he met with President Hassan Rouhani. The two nations signed a 25-year deal called the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. It covers a variety of economic issues from oil to mining to transportation. Wang shared China's support for the Iran nuclear deal as the nation faces crippling sanctions. And Rouhani said he's willing to boost cooperation with China in security and fighting the pandemic. Ihsan Kevani has more.
The 25-year Sino-Iranian Comprehensive Strategic Partnership was signed after 2 rounds of meetings between foreign ministers Wang Yi and Mohammad Javad Zarif. Based on the agreement, China will invest at least $400 billion into various sectors in Iran's economy for the period, and in return Iran will ensure a steady supply of crude oil to China. The sectors include petroleum sector, telecommunications, transportation and healthcare. A joint bank of Iran and China will also be established, and a refinery will be built in China compatible with Iranian crude oil. The pact will provide great incentives for Chinese companies that will invest in Iran's oil fields and also in the free zones, especially in southeast of Iran. Iran will also facilitate the Belt and Road initiative through which infrastructural investments will be made, including roads, ports, railroads, airports, dams, and railroad tunnels. Therefore, such a win-win strategy, I think, is mutually beneficial for both countries. If the pact's vision is realized, Iran will benefit from the exchange of technical know-how and technology transfer, as well as human resources training. Iranian people are now under huge economic pressure, and the pact can bring hope for better and more stable economic situations in Iran, I believe.